From the moment the video dropped, something didn't sit right. Prince William appeared in what the British media breathlessly called a first glimpse inside Forest Lodge, the supposed new family home he shares with Kate Middleton. Calm tones, muted walls, carefully framed background decor that paparazzi-friendly outlets insisted reflected Kate's personal touch. But within minutes, viewers began noticing the obvious. Those walls were not from Forest Lodge. That gold moulding, the panelling, the exact decor, it wasn't new, it wasn't exclusive, it wasn't even the same house. It matched Windsor Castle almost frame for frame, identical to a 2022 video William filmed there. The backdrop wasn't a coincidence. It was recycled, reused, repurposed, and it raised an uncomfortable question. Why would someone pretend to be filming in a home they don't actually live in? The unravelling happened in real time. Headlines celebrating the rare glimpse inside the Wales's private family space were quietly edited, tweaked, or deleted. Articles lost confidence. Reporters suddenly avoided specifics. The synchronized rollout, once so proud, so coordinated, so insistent that Forest Lodge was the thriving marital nest, began collapsing like a badly constructed set. And soon, the question hanging in the air was no longer, where was William filming, but who exactly are they trying to fool? This isn't happening in a vacuum. For months, the British media has desperately tried to maintain the illusion of a functioning, united household. One day, Kate is remaining behind to decorate the new home. Another day, she is settling the children into their peaceful countryside routine. Forest Lodge was marketed as their forever sanctuary, a place the couple supposedly shares. Yet the man who is supposed to live there can't even be filmed there. And if the home truly exists as the foundation of this happy family narrative, why is William consistently filmed elsewhere? Why does every intimate domestic moment turn out staged, generic, or suspiciously borrowed from older locations? People are connecting dots, and the picture that emerges is uncomfortable. Speculation has grown that William and Kate haven't actually lived together since the move to Adelaide Cottage. Add the sudden Forest Lodge fantasy rollout, the overworked PR messaging, and the rapid corrections, and the story starts to feel less like reality and more like crisis management. One online commentator suggested Forest Lodge felt less like a marital home and more like a compensation package, a property gifted to Kate as part of a deliberate separation agreement. When reviewing the sequence of events, this theory starts to feel plausible. Think about it. If William and Kate were truly living together in this supposedly decorated sanctuary, why stage a fake filming location? Why launch a media push filled with false details? Why use Windsor Castle walls while claiming they belong to the private family home? Why lie about something as simple as where a video was shot? Fake locations aren't accidents, they're deliberate choices. And choices reveal fear behind them. The British press tried so hard to sell a narrative of domestic stability that it became almost absurd. Warm colours, serene decor, family-oriented touches, supposedly chosen by Kate herself, all were meant to reinforce the illusion. But then William appears sitting in front of Windsor Castle walls, recycled from an old project, without even attempting to disguise the match. The carelessness is almost insulting. If they can't even pretend convincingly, what does it say about the stability of the story they're trying to sell? The underlying problem is clear. When a family is solid, it doesn't require fabricated backgrounds. It doesn't require PR-manufactured home glimpses. It doesn't need coordinated stories about staying behind to decorate. Everything forced becomes suspicious, everything orchestrated raises doubt, and everything intended to reassure ends up doing the opposite. And that is exactly what is happening now. The public sees the edits, the inconsistencies, the scramble. They see a man who never appears in the so-called family home. They see a new house that exists only in tabloids. They see Kate absent from the rollout, William pretending to be somewhere he's not, and the media nervously filling in the gaps with stories that don't add up. The narrative being sold feels intentionally artificial. A staged home, a staged marriage, a staged image. The more they try to convince people Forest Lodge symbolizes unity, the more obvious it becomes that something behind the scenes is fractured. Whether the house launch was compensation or part of an arrangement, the signs point toward a couple living separate lives, physically, emotionally, and strategically. The fake filming location wasn't the mistake. The real mistake was thinking the public wouldn't notice. People noticed the recycled walls. They noticed the inconsistencies. They noticed William being filmed in Windsor Castle, while media reports insisted it was Forest Lodge. They noticed Kate's conspicuous absence. They noticed the scrambling corrections. And all of it only intensified suspicion. The breakdown of the Forest Lodge rollout is more than just a PR failure. It's a glaring display of a narrative falling apart under scrutiny. The careful language about domestic bliss, the meticulous descriptions of decor, the intimate moments, all designed to sell a perfect family image, now highlight what's missing: authenticity. Every staged element exposes the tension behind the story. Every recycled backdrop exposes a lack of credibility, and every careful phrasing exposes a media desperate to cover up the truth. The public isn't stupid. They see through superficial storytelling. They see that the supposed family home never actually appears. They see that the man at the center of the story is absent from the home he supposedly occupies. They see the house being presented as a symbol of domestic stability, while every visual clue contradicts that claim. And when contradictions are so blatant, they no longer feel like oversights. They feel like deliberate manipulation. This is what makes the Forest Lodge narrative feel like a manufactured illusion. Everything about the rollout, the recycled footage, the empty rooms, the overworked PR messaging, indicates that what is being presented as normal domestic life is anything but. The public isn't being shown reality. They're being shown a carefully constructed performance designed to convince them of stability where there may be none. And yet, the performance is failing. The recycled Windsor Castle backdrop is one of the easiest discrepancies to spot, and spotting it immediately triggers questions. If this is a new home, why does it look exactly like an old location? Why does William need to pretend he's somewhere else? Why stage intimacy and domesticity in a place that doesn't exist in footage? These questions don't just linger, they demand answers, and no answers are forthcoming. Because the truth behind Forest Lodge, the truth behind the video, and the truth behind William and Kate's household is now impossible to ignore. The more the media insists on the image of a united couple in a newly decorated home, the more glaring the contradictions become. Each attempt to sell the story only highlights the discrepancy between reality and performance. And the public sees it, remembers it, and discusses it, sometimes mockingly, sometimes incredulously, always critically. Whether Forest Lodge is a genuine home, a PR prop, or a negotiated settlement, the rollout has failed in its intended purpose. Instead of presenting a picture of domestic bliss, it exposed cracks, inconsistencies, and gaps that the media cannot explain away. Each recycled frame of Windsor Castle walls becomes a symbol of a larger problem, an illusion of stability covering up a reality the public isn't supposed to witness. Ultimately, this entire episode illustrates a simple, uncomfortable truth. Staged locations, recycled backdrops, and over-coordinated PR messaging only work if the audience is unaware. When the audience notices, even briefly, the entire narrative collapses. Forest Lodge was not merely misrepresented. It was weaponized against credibility. And the public is not forgiving of such manipulation. The fake filming location wasn't just a minor error. It's a glaring symptom of a larger issue, a carefully constructed facade designed to hide fracture and absence. And the mistake wasn't filming in the wrong room. It was thinking that no one would notice. In reality, people noticed immediately, and the fallout has only amplified doubts. The staged imagery, the overworked narrative, and the apparent gaps between story and visual evidence all feed into a growing suspicion that the Wales household may be far less cohesive than the media wants the world to believe. At this point, the Forest Lodge story is no longer about decor, media access, or PR strategy. It's about authenticity, credibility, and the growing recognition that the public can see through even the most coordinated attempts to manufacture perception. Each recycled frame, each staged moment, each absent figure serves as a signal. Something is off. Something is being hidden. And in the court of public opinion, perception is reality, especially when the image being presented is nothing more than a carefully orchestrated facade. The public didn't fall for it. They saw the cracks. They saw the inconsistencies. They saw the artificiality. They saw a narrative that tried to sell stability but revealed only confusion, absence, and contrivance. And they are still watching. Because in the end, the real error was not the location. It was assuming the audience would accept illusion as reality.